Detective Harris stands in the dim glow of his flashlight, the air in the basement thick with the scent of damp earth and something older, something metallic and sour, like rust and spoiled milk. The symbols on the wall seem to pulse under his gaze, their jagged lines forming patterns that make his eyes ache. He reaches out, fingers brushing the deepest groove, and the moment his skin makes contact, a woman's scream, muffled, as if through layers of earth. He jerks back, heart hammering. The sound wasn't real, couldn't have been real, but his hands are shaking. Upstairs, the floorboards creak. Harris draws his gun, moving toward the sound. The house feels different now, alive, breathing, its walls pressing in. The hallway stretches longer than it should, the door at the end warping like a reflection in water. Then, a whisper. "You shouldn't be here." He spins, but the voice wasn't behind him. It was inside his head. A crash from the kitchen sends him running. The family's cat, its fur bristled, hisses at the empty space beneath the table before bolting out the back door. The air there is thick, shimmering like heat off asphalt. And then he sees it, a flicker, a distortion. For half a second, the kitchen isn't empty. Margaret, Elaine, and Lily are there, mouths open in silent screams, hands pressed against some invisible barrier. Their eyes lock onto his, pleading. Then, gone. The psychic medium arrives at dawn, summoned by a Harris who no longer cares if his colleagues think he's lost it. She steps across the threshold and goes rigid, her breath fogging in the suddenly freezing air. "This house isn't a place," she says. "It's a throat." She walks straight to the basement, to the wall of symbols, and presses her palm flat against it. Her voice drops to a whisper. "They're still here, trapped between. The house lets you see them when it wants to, when it's tasting you." Harris wants to laugh, wants to scream, but the medium isn't done. "It's getting ready," she says. "It's almost hungry again." The initial unease hardens into gnawing suspicion as Alex's interactions with Mr. Holloway grow increasingly unsettling. What began as a vague discomfort now takes shape in the form of inexplicable details, small at first, then impossible to ignore. One evening, Alex brings over a plate of cookies, a polite gesture to break the ice. Holloway answers the door after an unnervingly long pause, his face eerily still, as if he had to remember how to arrange his features into something resembling human warmth. He accepts the offering with stiff fingers, his grip too light, like the bones beneath his skin aren't quite structured the way they should be. When Alex makes a joke, Holloway's laugh is a delayed, mechanical sound, as if he'd heard laughter once and is now trying to replicate it without understanding why it exists. Days pass, and the observations pile up. Holloway never leaves his house during the day. Not once. Alex starts paying attention, peering out the window at odd hours, noting the absence of footprints in the snow leading to his door, the lack of grocery deliveries, the fact that his trash bins remain empty week after week. One morning, Alex catches a glimpse of him through a half-open curtain, standing motionless in the middle of his living room, staring at nothing. Not reading, not watching TV, just waiting. For what? Then there are the sounds. Late at night, Alex wakes to a low, rhythmic humming from next door. Not the buzz of an appliance, but something deeper, almost organic, like the vibration of machinery buried beneath flesh. Once, just once, Alex swears they hear something else, a wet, clicking noise, followed by a whisper that isn't quite a voice. The neighborhood's animals react to Holloway before anyone else does. Mrs. Calloway's terrier, usually yappy and bold, whimpers and tucks its tail between its legs when Holloway walks by. The crows that perch on telephone wires go silent when he steps outside. A stray cat that used to lounge on Alex's porch now refuses to come near the property at all. The final straw comes when Alex notices something impossible. It's a bright afternoon, the sun high in the sky, and Holloway steps outside, in daylight, to retrieve his mail. Except he doesn't squint, doesn't shield his eyes, doesn't react to the light at all. And when he turns, just for a second, the sunlight hits him at an angle where his shadow should be, but isn't. That's when Alex knows, with cold certainty, whatever Holloway is, he isn't human. And worse, he might not even realize that Alex has figured it out. The suspicion has taken root, and now it festers, an itch in the back of Alex's mind that refuses to be ignored. Mr. Holloway isn't just odd, he's wrong, and Alex needs to know why. It starts with small things, casual questions to other neighbors as if making conversation. How long has Mr. Holloway lived here? The answers are vague, evasive. Mrs. Peterson from across the street frowns, her fingers tightening around her coffee cup. Oh, a while, I suppose. Old Mr. Grady, who's lived on the block for 40 years, hesitates before muttering, he keeps to himself. Best leave it at that. No one seems to know anything concrete. No one wants to. Late one night, curiosity gets the better of Alex. Through the blinds, Holloway's house is dark except for a faint, pulsing glow from an upstairs window, a light that doesn't flicker like a lamp or a TV, but throbs like a slow, steady heartbeat. Alex watches, pulse racing, until the glow suddenly stops, as if sensing observation. The next morning, there's no sign anything was ever there. The internet yields nothing. No social media, no records, no trace of a Martin Holloway existing before this house. A property search shows the home was sold 6 months ago, but the previous owner's name is redacted, classified according to the records. That's not normal. That's never normal. Then, the break. A missing persons poster at the local grocery store. A face Alex recognizes. The man in the photo, smiling, standing in front of Holloway's house. The dates line up. The previous owner, the one whose name was erased. Alex's hands shake as they dig deeper. The local library's newspaper archives reveal a short, buried article. Local man vanishes without trace. No suspects. No leads. The police report, obtained through a friend of a friend who works at the station, is even more damning. The last person to see the missing man alive? A neighbor. A new neighbor. That night, Alex does something reckless. They wait until Holloway's house is dark, or seems dark, who knows what hides behind those tinted windows, and slip into the backyard. The grass is too perfect, too even, as if never stepped on. The back door is unlocked. Inside, the air is thick, too still, like the house itself is holding its breath. The walls are bare, no photos, no art, nothing personal. The furniture looks staged, untouched. And then, a sound, a click. A door creaking open upstairs. Alex freezes. Something is moving in the dark, something that doesn't breathe. The air inside Holloway's house is thick with the scent of something metallic, almost like ozone, the smell of a storm that hasn't broken yet. Alex's pulse hammers in their throat as they creep further inside, each step too loud in the unnatural silence. The floorboards don't creak. The house doesn't settle. It's as if the very structure is waiting. Then, the flicker of movement upstairs. Alex's breath catches. They should turn back. They know they should turn back. But the need to understand, to confirm the dread coiling in their gut, outweighs survival instinct. Slowly, they climb the stairs, each step deliberate, their fingers brushing the wall for balance. The door at the end of the hallway is slightly ajar. A sliver of that same eerie, pulsing glow seeps through the gap. Alex pushes it open. The room is wrong. Walls lined with strange, fleshy membranes that glisten under the glow of floating orbs. Not lights, but something organic, suspended in midair, like eggs in a sack. The floor is slick with a translucent fluid, and in the center of it all stands Holloway, or what was Holloway. His skin is splitting, not bleeding, not tearing, unfolding. Like a discarded suit, the human facade peels away in jagged sections, revealing something glistening and chitinous beneath. His limbs elongate, joints bending in impossible directions, and when he turns, oh God, when he turns, his face is a shifting mass of dark, fibrous tendrils, rearranging themselves into something that almost resembles eyes, a mouth, but not quite. A voice, but not a voice. A vibration. A sound that bypasses Alex's ears and thrums directly into their skull. You weren't supposed to see? Alex stumbles back, but the thing that was Holloway moves faster. A limb, not an arm, not anymore, lashes out, snagging their wrist. The contact burns like ice, and then, the worst part. The revelation that cracks Alex's sanity in two. Holloway isn't the only one. Through the window, the neighborhood sleeps peacefully under the streetlights, except for the houses where other doors are opening, where other figures step out, their movements too smooth, too synchronized. They're everywhere. And now they're all turning toward Alex's house. Alex's scream lodges in their throat, choked silent by pure primal terror. The thing wearing Holloway's skin, no, not wearing, shedding, tightens its grip, tendrils snaking up their arm like creeping frost. The pain is electric, wrong, burrowing beneath their skin as if rewriting their very nerves. Escape. It's the only thought left. With a desperate wrench, Alex tears free, stumbling back as the thing that was Holloway lets out a sound like a radio tuning between stations, a screech of static and something almost disappointed. They don't look back as they crash down the stairs, through the hollow, lifeless house, out into the night. The air outside feels different now, thicker, heavier, like the world itself is holding its breath. The street is no longer empty. Doors stand open, porch lights flicker, shadows that aren't shadows shift at the edges of vision. The neighbors, the things pretending to be neighbors, are gathering. Their movements are too precise, too shared, as if controlled by the same unseen pulse. Mrs. Peterson's head tilts at an unnatural angle. Mr. Grady's smile splits a little too wide. Alex runs. They don't grab their keys. They don't grab their phone. They just run, sneakers slapping against pavement, lungs burning. Behind them, the streetlights begin to dim, one by one, as if the darkness itself is giving chase. Alex makes it to the highway, flagging down a passing truck. They babble warnings, but the driver just frowns, eyeing their wild expression. "You okay, kid?" The police report lists stress-induced hallucination. The neighborhood, when checked, is perfectly normal. Holloway even waves from his porch, his smile benign, his eyes just a little too knowing. Alex changes their name, moves across the country. But years later, in a new city, they step outside one morning to find a familiar figure standing beneath a streetlight. Holloway. "You left something behind," he says, holding out a hand. Inside his palm is a single writhing tendril. Alex feels something stir under their own skin in response. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. See you in the next one. Bye for now.